Hey, what's going on, dudes? My name is MrRhexx and we're back with some more Elder Scrolls Skyrim. So in the last episode, let's see what happened. We
and this sanctuary, life is simple and good.
Yeah. So we snooped into Cicero talking to the Night Mother. We realized that we are apparently the listener. The Night Mother has chosen us to be her, I guess, vessel as far as delivering the contracts that the Brotherhood needs in order to continue functioning, which is really cool. Today, we are supposed to collect some contracts from Nazir, since Astrid apparently doesn't really trust the Night Mother. More specifically, she refuses to believe that there might be a higher authority, which is very interesting. We all know that this Brotherhood hub here has kind of, in some way, fallen from grace. And it is very interesting, and I think I mentioned this before, but during the entirety of the quest line, you will realize that this hub for the Dark Brotherhood would eventually break every single one of its tenants. And I can't really read it from here. The quality is not very good, but it pretty much entails the rules that the Brotherhood are supposed to uphold. And breaking any of these rules will entail that the wrath of Sithis would fall upon you. Which is very interesting that during the whole process of the questline you will see every single rule broken at some point or another. But, oh, where was I? I completely went on a tangent there. I had a point. I swear to God I had a point. Oh yeah, well regardless, so Astrid doesn't really quite believe in a higher authority. And so she asked us to go to Nazir and collect a couple of quests from him, and we will eventually, I guess, continue with what the Night Mother actually asked of us, which is to go to Bollenrug. We'll deal with that in a bit. Let's see if I can just avoid any conversation. We do have a couple of questions today. Since we already talked about the Brotherhood in general, we already talked about Cicero and the Night Mother, and Sithis in general. There won't be any Brotherhood related topics to do today, so we do have a couple of questions that I want to answer, but for now, see what he has to say.
Will there ever come a time when the people of Skyrim no longer need our services? I think not. Well then, your timing couldn't be better. As it turns out, I've got 2 new contracts. One rather easy assignment, and another that should prove quite a challenge. Your first target is an orc bard named LorePlay. The other is a vampire by the name of Hearn. Happy hunting. He is, by all accounts, the worst bard in all of Skyrim. Apparently, so many people sought his death, Astrid had to hold a lottery to determine the client. He's a vampire, and has blended into human society for years. He's never far from his female companion, Hurt, also a vampire. The contract is for the male Hearn, but you'll probably have to contend with the female too. So for Sithis' sake, watch yourself. I don't like mimes, minstrels, thespians, acrobats, jugglers, troubadours, or tumblers. Flutists give me a headache. I particularly hate jesters. As a rule, I'm also not crazy about the corpses of old women. For the Night Mother, I'll make an exception. But Astrid is the only mistress I serve. Happy hunting.
And we did talk about it a little bit before, because you guys were asking how the Brotherhood actually gets their contracts, since the Night Mother is obviously not providing it for them, since there is no listener. And they do explain that the Brotherhood has ears everywhere, and it's more akin to like they need to know it, because of like, there has to be like the rumor that you're actually trying to contact the Brotherhood, otherwise the Brotherhood just straight up doesn't know, because there is no mystical arcaneness to it, since the Mother is not there, which obviously will change as of the end of this quest line, but it's just an interesting thing. Anyways, we'll see which one we do first. I do have a couple of questions that I feel particularly about. A Horrier here asked us, I have a question. What is the Empire's / Thalmor's strongest weapon? Because the fact of how powerful you can become in Skyrim, you basically reach a level at where you could take down an entire army as a Dragonborn. So the question is, what is preventing the Dovahkiin from returning a Dragonborn back to the throne? Okay, so basically, do the Thalmor or the Empire have something that could combat the Dovahkiin? So this is pretty much a question as to the power of the Dovahkiin. Could the Empire fight against the Dovahkiin if the Dovahkiin would want to take on the throne? Or could the Thalmor fight the Dovahkiin if the Dovahkiin would side with the Empire? Now, let me just go ahead and select this quest line. Kill, which one want to kill? Let's do Hearn. Vampires. Alright, seems like we're gonna have to walk, which is fine by me, I suppose. Let's go ahead and quick save. Now, this is something that I feel very strongly about, because I feel like there's a strong misconception as to, and this is something that I deal with a lot, especially with my channel. There's a big difference between what happens in the game and what actually happens in the lore, right? So you have to understand, I'm not trying to be, that sounded so fucking presumptuous or condescending. The thing is, in the games, like, because of gameplay mechanics, because this is a game, things happen in here that are not necessarily tied up to the story. Like, for example, the Dragonborn is not necessarily portrayed as a mage, right? Like, when you look at the cinematics for Skyrim, when you look at all the art style that the actual, Bethesda released officially for the Dragonborn has a very peculiar and very specific style, right? He's obviously a Nord. I mean, he could be an Imperial or a Breton, but he looks very much like 99% guaranteed he's a Nord. He also wears a shield, heavy armor or heavy leather, and the sword, right? Sometimes you can see him with a sword and a dagger, but for the most part it is understood that he's a warrior. Yet, in the game, you're allowed to be a mage. You can use restorative powers, you can cast lightning bolts, hell, you can summon Daedrus, right? But in reality, the Dragonborn is not supposed to do those things. He's really just a warrior, right? He defeats and kills dragons. That's what he does with swords, not with magic. So there is a very specific dissonance between what he actually is and how he's portrayed in the games. And to the same extent, a lot of the stuff that actually happens in the game is not necessarily what really happened. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about it before, how, like, there is a big chance that the side quests in Skyrim and Oblivion never actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, the Dragonborn probably never went into the Dark Brotherhood sanctuary and killed all those people. You know what I mean? He never stole the eyes of the Thalmor. Like, these are things that probably never really happened. It's just the game. It's just side quests. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that, okay, if the Dragonborn ever forgo his main quest and instead decided to do those things, then that's what would have happened. You know what I mean? It's almost as if we're looking at this world through the eyes of an Elder Scroll. Like, what if the Dragonborn never did any of the things he was supposed to do and instead turned evil? Then that's probably what would be the Brotherhood questline, right? Just quickly kill this guy. I don't want to deal. There we go. The waifu should be coming out. Nope. Oh yeah, she's aggressive. The wife must be somewhere. No, alright, we're good. Let me go ahead and turn this guy upside down. Damn it, if I can. It's really hard to... his eyes are gonna be closed. It's very hard to tell he's a vampire from this, but his eyes, as you clearly saw before I killed him, he does look like a vampire, which is really cool, because otherwise there's really no way to tell. Based on the way he fights, he uses weapons. He doesn't actually attack you with his health funnel ability, so it's very difficult to contract the vampire curse from him. Plus, he is very different from typical vampires in the sense that he has a house and a mill, and allegedly, according to the story, he supplied lumber to Helgen. But now that Helgen is gone, he supplies it to Falkreath instead. Just pretty cool stuff to know, but... Oh, that's the wife, right? That's Hurt? Yeah, so you can tell.
Hearn and I do so adore guests. These guards are such a bore. A guest? Oh my. We have guests as often as we can, but there aren't a lot of travelers these days. The war keeps people off the roads. We supply Falkreath to the south. Until recently, we supplied Helgen. Felgreath trades with the surrounding holds, and without our wood, they would have trouble keeping their prices low. Other people just make things complex. Out here, Hearn and I can get everything we need from the occasional traveler.
It's kind of sad because they almost sound like vampires who genuinely don't want to necessarily be vampires. They just want to live outside, you know, live their life, supply cities with mail. Like, they don't seem the type of vampires that would necessarily go out and kill people. Yet there seems to be some I don't know, maybe some racial hatred between other people and them. You know, obviously we know that somebody wanted them killed. So
All right then.
yeah, there's a sadness to it because they might have not been bad people. It's just maybe others don't really trust vampires ever, or maybe they were bad people and somebody knew them better than I do. It's just sad nonetheless. Anyways, we talked about the canon side of things before in other videos, whereas like the things that happen in the game aren't necessarily how they really happen. You know what I mean? It's almost as if we're living the life of the Dovahkiin through the eyes of an Elder Scroll. You know what I mean? Like if we were to look at an Elder Scroll and see what Skyrim could have been in many different realities, you know, like all the different outcomes that could have possibly happened. That's what playing the game would be like. What if the Dragonborn was actually a mage? And what if he was actually a thief? Then this is what would have happened. And then you get to experience the game through that outcome, right? But in reality, the Dragonborn was just a warrior who defeated Alduin, defeated Harkin, and defeated MrRhexx, and that's it, you know what I mean? So there's already a dissonance between canon and non-canon, but then added to that, just because this is a game, you know, you're allowed a lot of freedoms that in reality probably wouldn't be given to you, you know? So like, for example, I could just go right now and kill everyone in this village. Literally everyone. Does that mean that I'm a god because I can kill like 15 guards all together without really suffering any wounds? Maybe, but in reality, the Dragonborn probably couldn't be able to do that, right? You would never gonna hear like in the next Elder Scrolls, you know, an author is gonna write like the stories of the Dragonborn. He's never gonna be like, oh yeah, the Dragonborn, he just went into a castle, just killed 400 druggers. Like that's never gonna be the case. And okay, I want you guys to pay close attention to how some of the quest lines kind of evolve, specifically the main quest lines, right? Like if you're playing Dawnguard and you assault the Volkihar castle, like at the end of the quest line, you don't just do that yourself alone. No, you actually have an army of vampire slayers who are actually accompanying you and helping you in this manner. You're not assaulting and defeating a castle all by yourself. You have an army with you, right? It's and in a lot of ways, like especially when you have to do the Civil War, like yeah, you're not taking cities by yourself. You're taking cities with armies. The game tries to make it so that you understand that no, it's not you. Yeah, you could probably take the city by yourself, but
just don't. Leave me out of it.
but you're actually not. And okay, take this for example. Can we just kill this guy? Because I want to be able to talk to you guys.
No,
I
mean it.
want to just not have any distractions.
Tamriel, you'll regret this decision.
Let's see if I can. It's gonna be very difficult for me to kill this guy in here. At least the vampires were kind of
Why, good evening.
far away.
What can I get you?
Alright, let me see if I can equip. This is something that I should have done on the last episode. I actually have this. Backstabs do double damage. So I'm gonna equip this. And probably this. I just need wait, which one is better? I know there's some math to it. Backstab does double damage. Double sneak attack damage with one-handed weapons. Let's just go for the double damage.
What can't you get me?
Yeah. Awesome.
Did you want something?
Let's wait until he sleeps.
Eat?
There's no door here, so it's
No,
gonna be hard.
I don't think
Alright, so Lydia, we're gonna put her over here. Ask her to stay.
Got your back. I will remain on guard here.
Okay. So let's think about the very first thing you do in this game, outside of Helgen and the dragon. Like, you get asked by Farengar to obtain a Dragonstone from a dungeon, I mean, it is literally a dungeon that is filled with bandits and druggers. You could argue, well, the Dragonborn is so powerful, he just goes right in and kills everything. You know, he kills all the bandits, he kills all the druggers. Like, okay, so what is he? Did I do it? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I am not good at this. I am really not good at the stealth game in this game. Especially not with a character that doesn't have any of the,
You'll regret this.
any of the stuff. See if I can wait until 3 AM.
I'm thinking of
The fact of the matter is, he never actually did that. See, the way that I envisioned the Dragonborn entering that first drugger-infested dungeon, killing all those bandits, and then killing all those druggers inside, it's not him alone. He probably has Lydia with him, and he has Faendal with him, you know, after he, like, maybe, like, helped him with the love issue he was having. Maybe he had a hireling or something that he fought in a bar and he won, so the hireling was like, alright, I'll let you, you know, be with you or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, this is, I don't envision the Dragonborn doing all these things that I do here, attacking castles and entering infested dungeons all by himself. He probably has, like, an entourage of people that he hires or his followers, you know what I mean? Like, Lydia, it's never like, oh shit, I have another follower, Lydia, go back home, like, I don't need you anymore. No, I probably have, like, 5 other warriors going with me, and I have this kind of miniature army type of thing, right? It's, I should probably ask her. This is hard. I'm not sure how to approach this, to be honest. Farmer is still in there, making my life miserable. Let me wait a little bit here. So to answer your question, Horrier, I don't think the Dragonborn is as strong as you think he is. He's an amazing warrior, and he definitely can sustain more damage than any other person simply because he has Dragonborn blood in him. Like, there is value in having that. I think it's Lydia. I honestly think it's Lydia that is, like, there. So they're just watching her or something. I don't know what's happening. Let me try and take her out. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. Oh, no. I hate this quest. I seriously do. God, I just want to talk to you guys, and I'm stuck doing these things. Oh, I think Lydia is waiting for me inside, because I told her to wait. Lydia. Alright, so follow me.
As you will, my thing.
Yeah.
I will protect.
I don't think the Dragonborn is as strong as you guys think he is. He does have a lot of benefits, and obviously a lot of spells simply attributed to the fact that he can shout and use these ancient forms of magic that dragons used to use. But he's not invincible by any way, shape, or form. I mean, he wasn't even, like, when he's fighting Harkon, he has an army of vampire slaying badasses with him, you know what I mean? He's not alone, and even still, he still has Serana with him, and possibly, you know, another entourage of people with him, trying to defeat this vampiric lord of death. When he defeats MrRhexx, he doesn't actually defeat MrRhexx, like, Hermaeus Mora kills MrRhexx in the end. It's not the Dragonborn who does it. Yeah, I knew it was Lydia. That girl, always making my life difficult. Women, am I right?
Heading out? As you command, my
There we go. So yeah, I don't think the Dragonborn could just be like, all right, well, I'm taking the Empire and then just like killing every single leader and becoming the king. Like that would never happen. Any type of like, the Dragonborn could probably take on like 5 guys, you know what I mean, like with shouts and stuff. But if you were to throw like 10 guys at the Dragonborn, he would die. Like, I mean, I have no doubt on him. Like in an actual war, if his side lost and he was like, he would just die. I don't imagine him being as strong as you might imagine him being. Alexi O Nut 6 asked me, can you talk about the actual Elder Scrolls? I never heard you talking about this subject. I mean, who created the scrolls and with what purpose, if any? P.S. I love your work. Keep going. Thank you, buddy. The Elder Scrolls. So, who created the Elder Scrolls and with what purpose. So we don't know the exact purpose of the Elder Scrolls. And it's beautiful because the Elder Scrolls is like, they're possibly the most important and powerful aspect of this entire world.
We need to talk.
Oh boy. Yet, they don't really get explained that much, and they don't even make that many appearances in the games at all. I mean, it wasn't until before Skyrim, like, we never knew of any of the prophecies that they foretold, right? In Oblivion, like, the Thieves Guild, if you do the quest line, like, you get to steal it, and that's it. Like, you don't actually get to learn anything about them. It's so bizarre. I'll answer your question in a bit. Let me just do this.
Look, something is happening here. I'm not sure entirely what that something is, but, well, we need to find out. If the Night Mother really did give you an order to talk to a contact, we'd be mad to ignore it. And I think we'd both agree, Cicero's brought quite enough madness to this sanctuary. So go. Go to Vollenrud. It's a crypt, pretty far to the northeast. Talk to this Armand Motier, and let's see where all this leads,
And there we go. What we do know, however, Alexio, is that the Elder Scrolls were created by the Aedra. It doesn't say the Divines, okay? It doesn't say Akatosh, it doesn't say Standard, it says Aedras. So it could be Magnus, I mean, it could be any of these old school dudes that are not necessarily in Nirn or Mundus at the moment. Which kind of opens up the possibilities, right? I mean, it could have been Daedrus before they turned Daedrus, right? Like it's very vague, and I feel like they made it vague on purpose. And then to add to that, oh, he's gonna talk to me, is it? I don't know. Okay, and then to add to that is the fact that the only reason we know they're Aedric in nature is because an author in a book that was in Oblivion. I don't think that book is even found in Skyrim, actually. I think it's just an Oblivion book. But if you read this book, it's an author that tells you, hey, the Elder Scrolls are Aedric in nature, blah, blah, blah. And it just goes a little bit further. But the thing is, we don't know they're Aedric because, like, a Divine or an Aedra actually told us, or because a Daedra or a Dragon told us. The only reason we know they're Aedric is because a person in the game tells you. But you have to keep in mind that Bethesda is very sketchy with the way they give you information. Like, they backstab you, dude. Bethesda doesn't give a shit. Bethesda will lie to you. They will tell you something and then take it back. They will tell you that a person tells you, like, they'll make it so a person tells you something, and then they'll grab another person and they'll have you, that person, tell you, like, oh no, this other person is not credible. He's a drunk idiot, so don't believe him. So then what you thought was real suddenly turns out to be the ramblings of a drunk, right? So Bethesda is very like, they throw hardballs at you and they try and confuse you. So I would be very careful with a lot of this information. So we don't know. Most likely it's Aedric in nature. And what we do know, however, is that they're called Aedric prophecies. So the main nature of an Elder Scroll and its main purpose is, in fact, prophecies. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're called. Now let's just deliver this and we'll talk a little bit further.
Still here? What's the matter? Can't handle what I'm throwing your way? Wonderful. The only good bard is a dead one as far as I'm concerned. All that singing and mirth. Your payment, as per the usual. No sarcasm this time. You faced a vampire and lived to tell the tale. Well done. And if you contracted Sanguinare Vampiris, be sure to get that taken care of. Else you'll end up like our own Babette. Unless, of course, that was your goal all along. Here's your payment. Well, aren't we the eager one? Sorry to disappoint, but there's nothing. Try me again later.
And there we go. So we know they're prophecies. The problem is that we don't know any of the prophecies. And I guess you guys can correct me on this one if there is like a location that, like a website or something that has the prophecies or something, because I don't know any of the prophecies. I know that there is the Dragonborn prophecy with Alduin, and then there is the Tyranny of the Sun prophecy, which is the one that we play in Dawnguard. But other than that, I don't think there's ever been another prophecy. And we know that's what they do, because that's what they do. And we know, and it's interesting because we know a lot about the moth priests who read the Elder Scrolls. We know about their costumes. We know about their how they actually do the reading. We know how it feels to read an Elder Scrolls because we've had a lot of contact with that in Skyrim. But it's so sad that we don't actually know any of the. We don't know any prophecies that have nothing to do with Skyrim, which is a little bit sad. But let's go ahead and. Okay, but let's go a little bit deeper. So what the hell are the Elder Scrolls outside of just like the obvious description of what they're actually supposed to do? So the Elder Scrolls, they're supposed to exist outside of time. Like, that's how badass these things are. They don't actually exist in the realm of existence as we perceive it. They, you know, and I talked about this before when I talked about the Dragon Breaks and how the world of Nirn is almost like a machine. You know, there are rules and machinations, and instead of gears and code, it's written in magic and arcane essences. But alas, like, you can change these arcane essences. Like a god, for example, could just be like, oh, I don't like the way this mountain looks. Let me just change this arcane scripture right here, and boom, now that mountain is a lake. You know what I mean? Like, the world is like a machine, it's a computer, and you can change things. But to do that, you need protocols and codes. You know what I mean? I hope my metaphor is do you guys understand the metaphor? That's what the Elder Scrolls do. The Elder Scrolls kind of, it's like a keyhole into the scriptures of the world so that you can see what's going to happen or what has happened. So the Elder Scrolls kind of live outside of this realm of existence. What is that? Oh, those are archmages or Stender? Is that Stender? Yeah. Let me just go ahead and kill this guy then, because these guys are actually tough ass balls. There we go. You guys cool? Alright, we cool.
Such colors.
Thank you, appreciate it. Let me just go ahead and quick save. So they have this very specific power and resilience to everything. Like, you can't, apparently you cannot collect the Elder Scrolls because the Elder Scrolls can at any point in time just disappear at will. Like, whenever you feel like you're, and it seems like there's a level of sentientness to it, like they're alive or something, because as soon as they feel like people start to like accrue them or count them, they actually react against that and disappear or multiply or divide. So like, if you start thinking like, all right, look, I have 4 Elder Scrolls here, cool. Now let's start capitulating like what's in this scrolls, and let's start like rounding them up. They can just be like, you can turn around and suddenly there's 2. Turn around again, there's 8. You know what I mean? Like, they can multiply at will, divide at will, and whatever information that is on them, you know, can be added or subtracted from any Elder Scrolls and added or subtracted into another. It's insane. Like, it's almost as if they are sentient, which makes it even more crazy, right? What the hell are they? But alas, when you actually read the Elder Scrolls, what happens? So the Elder Scrolls are, as I said, a keyhole. They're like a window into the future or the past. So when you read an Elder Scrolls, you get to see, this guy's totally alive. Totally alive. You can't fool me. You get images of either the past or the future, things that are going to happen or things that have happened. And as soon as you do that, whatever it is that you saw gets written into the Elder Scroll. So if other people read the Elder Scroll, they can see exactly what you saw. So it gives this interesting dynamic of like, okay, I'm gonna read the Elder Scroll and I'm gonna tell you what happened, and I cannot lie about it because apparently there is no magical knowledge in the world of Tamriel, or I guess Nirn, that can actually change what has been written in an Elder Scroll. I'm not gonna proceed anymore with the story. I just want to talk a little bit with you guys about the Elder Scrolls because it's a lot of information, man. I should have made this the main topic of the video, but I guess I can just proceed forward, kill some enemies. But apparently you cannot change what's written on the Elder Scrolls. Like, if you perceive something, a prophecy, you cannot change it. There's no magical knowledge in this world that can actually do that. So it is known that, you know, there's no bias. There's no way of like misconstrue whatever is on the Elder Scrolls because anyone can read it and tell you what is in there. But on the same vein, like, you can read other parts of the Elder Scroll and get completely different different sites. So like, you could say like, okay, the left side of the Elder Scroll gives you knowledge on this specific prophecy, but then you can read the right side of the Elder Scroll and it gives you an entirely different prophecy. So there's like a seemingly endless amount of knowledge to be obtained from a single Elder Scroll. But again, the Elder Scroll is sentient, so it can just like prevent you from reading a very specific thing that doesn't want you to read. Like, it's crazy. And apparently there's... I'm just gonna kill this guy. It's interesting because whatever the Elder Scroll tells you, it's like infallible. Like, it will happen. So the Elder Scroll, for example, can tell you, okay, if you grab the bow of Oriel and you imbue the arrow with the blood of a daughter of Cold Harbor, and then you shoot it at the sun will, it'll block out the sun so that the magical rays of Aetherius cannot enter Nirn anymore, or for a day, or whatever it is, right? If you do whatever the Elder Scroll tells you to do, it is guaranteed, it is infallible. There is no way in hell that what the Elder Scroll says is not going to happen, right? There is no discernible way of magically changing the outcome of events. But you can prevent what the Elder Scroll says it's going to happen if you do not do the required acts. So for example, you can destroy the bow of Riel, pretty much preventing anyone from using the bow and shooting the arrow to the sun. Now, the Elder Scroll tells you, if you shoot the arrow to the sun, this will happen, and there's no way to avoid that. No one can do it. Probably not even like Daedrus or Aedrus or anyone for that matter. But you can prevent the bow from being shot in the first place, right? So it's very interesting in that regard. So if I were to tell you, for example, the Elder Scroll could say, if you grab this tomahawk and you step into this stone in this particular day and you throw it in that direction, X person is going to die. Now, as long as you actually do what the Elder Scroll says, there is no way that you're gonna miss. That tomahawk will somehow, in some way, hit the person that is supposed to hit. You could try and move the person away. You could try and protect him. It doesn't matter. Somehow, in some way, the tomahawk is going to hit. And if the world has to override itself so that it actually happens, it will. Trust me, it will, because that's what the Dragonborn do. That's what ethereal Aedric magic does. It changes the world to suit your needs, to make whatever it is that you're wishing or you're doing a reality. But alas, if you shoot the tomahawk at the wrong time, like if you don't do exactly what the Elder Scroll tells you to do, then of course you're gonna miss, right? So it's a very interesting dynamic of how the whole thing works. It's super cool, and I definitely wish that they would explore it a little bit further, but at the same vein, keep it very secretive. Like, I don't want to know where the Elder Scrolls are from. I don't want to know how it works specifically or whatever, but I want them to use it more often because it's such an interesting concept. But I like it that it's like mysterious and crazy. And yeah, so for those of you who do not know, 25 years before the events of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, apparently something happened, and they don't really tell us exactly what happened. Probably someone in the White Gold Tower tried to count the Elder Scrolls or tried to accrue them for some nefarious purpose or something. Something happened 25 years before the events of the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, and all of the Elder Scrolls that were in the White Gold Tower disappeared and were scattered across the world. So that's actually why the Moth Priest here in Skyrim, specifically during the expansion of Dawnguard, is found just simply like walking around Skyrim. He's actually looking for an Elder Scroll because all of the Elder Scrolls were lost. So as of right now, nobody knows where they are. And of course, in Skyrim alone, we already found 3, the Elder Scroll Dragon, the Elder Scroll Blood, and the Elder Scroll Sun. One held by Serana, one held by Valerica, and the other one lost in what I believe was a Dwemer ruin. So they're everywhere at this point, which is kind of interesting. I do not have... I need more... I keep forgetting to, like, give myself more potions. Let me just go ahead and quick save here so that I don't, like, die and shame my family. So it would be very interesting if they, you know, if the next Elder Scroll at least have something to do with like you finding some more of the Elder Scrolls and maybe even possibly returning them to the White Gold Tower or whatever it is. But anyways, that's gonna be the end of this episode. I managed to stall a little bit before proceeding through the quest line so that I could talk to you guys a little bit more about the Elder Scrolls. This is an interesting topic, and yeah, if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer, don't hesitate to leave it in the comments, and or send me the questions on Twitter. I also read them from Twitter, so there you go, guys. The next episode, we will continue on the quest line and proceed to kill the Emperor. We'll talk a little bit more about that, of course. See you guys next time.